Everything started when I accepted the briefcase of money. Part 2, The Dark Truth. Chapter 5, Day 2. The Unexpected Visit. I woke up on the second day to the sound of my phone ringing insistently. I looked at the screen, 6 in the morning. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Yes. Mr. Karim. A man's voice, official, dry. Yes, who am I speaking with? Captain Ahmed Al-Omari from Criminal Investigations. We need to talk to you about an important matter. Can we come by your restaurant this morning? I felt the blood freeze in my veins. The police. On the second day, this couldn't be a coincidence. Of course, I said, trying to make my voice sound normal. Has something happened? We'll explain when we arrive around 9 o'clock. Thank you for your cooperation. He ended the call before I could say anything else. I sat on the edge of the bed, my head spinning. What should I do? Should I get rid of the briefcase? Should I open it to see what's inside? No, the man warned me. He said, don't open it, don't tell anyone. But what if the police ask me directly? I can't lie to the police, or can I? I arrived at the restaurant before 7, my nerves taut as violin strings. I opened as usual, but my hands were trembling as I prepared the ingredients and lit the oven. Some morning customers came, but I was barely paying attention to them. I was looking at the clock every 2 minutes, waiting for 9 o'clock with fear and dread. At exactly 9:15, 2 men entered. They were wearing civilian clothes, but everything about them screamed police. The straight posture, the examining look, the quiet confidence. Good morning, said the taller one, a man in his 40s with dark skin and a thick mustache. I'm Captain Ahmed Al-Omari, and this is my colleague Sergeant Sami. You're Karim. Yes, I'm Karim. My voice was hoarser than I wished. Please have a seat. Would you like coffee? No, thank you. We won't take much of your time. They sat at one of the tables, and Al-Omari gestured for me to sit with them. I sat, trying to appear relaxed, but I was sure they could see the tension in every cell of my body. Al-Omari took out a small notebook and pen. Karim, we're looking for a man, and there's information suggesting he may have visited your restaurant recently. He pulled out a photo from his pocket and placed it in front of me on the table. The face of the man in the black suit stared back at me from the photo. I tried not to show any reaction, but I'm sure something changed in my face because Al-Omari's eyes narrowed slightly. Have you seen this man before? He asked, watching my face carefully. This was the moment. The first big lie. If I said yes, they'd ask me about him and they'd start digging, and if I said no and they already knew he came here, I would have lied to the police. Maybe, I finally said, trying to appear uncertain. Many people come to the restaurant. I can't remember every face. This man is distinctive, said Sergeant Sami for the first time. He was younger, in his 30s, with intelligent eyes. He wears elegant clothes, unusual in this neighborhood. Oh, I said, as if it had suddenly become clear to me. Yes, I think I saw him. He came about 2 nights ago, late. He only ordered coffee, sat for a bit, then left. Why? Is he wanted? I was trying to seem curious, but not too interested. The 2 officers exchanged a quick glance. We just want to talk to him about a case we're investigating, said Al-Omari cautiously. Did you talk to him? Did he say anything? No, not really. Just the usual order. He seemed quiet. He didn't cause any problems. How long did he stay? Maybe 20 minutes, half an hour at most. Was he alone? Yes. Was he carrying anything, a briefcase perhaps? My heart jumped. They knew about the briefcase. I'm not sure. Maybe he had a small work briefcase, but I didn't pay much attention. As I said, he was just another customer. Al-Omari looked at me for a long time, long enough to make me feel extremely uncomfortable. Then he nodded slowly. All right. If you see him again, or if you remember anything else, call this number. He gave me his business card. I took it with a hand I hoped wasn't trembling. Of course, but can I ask what this is about? Al-Omari smiled a smile that wasn't really friendly. Official matters, we can't discuss them. But if you know anything, it would be in your interest to tell us. This man is dangerous. The 2 stood up. Thank you for your time, Karim. And a word of advice, be careful. This neighborhood has become turbulent recently. They left and I remained sitting, breathing with difficulty. Dangerous. They said he was dangerous and I was keeping his briefcase in my safe. Chapter 6, Day 3. The Brother. The rest of the second day passed in a haze of worry and fear. I tried to continue working normally, but the police's words kept echoing in my head. This man is dangerous. That night I searched on the internet for any news about recent crimes, about a man in a black suit, about anything that might give me an idea of what I'd gotten involved in. I found nothing specific, but there was news about gangs, about a power struggle in the city, about mysterious disappearances. I slept only a few hours, disturbing dreams about the police raiding the restaurant, about the black briefcase exploding, about terrible things inside it. On the third day, I was exhausted. I opened the restaurant a bit late and I wasn't in the mood to deal with anyone. Fortunately, the morning was quiet. But at noon, when the sun was at its peak, a man entered who made me stop what I was doing. He was young, probably in his late 20s, with a somewhat full face, light brown hair and wide green eyes that looked very worried. He was wearing jeans and a simple shirt and looked extremely tired, as if he hadn't slept for days. He looked around cautiously, then came directly toward me. "You're Kareem, aren't you?" he whispered, even though there was no one else in the restaurant at that moment. "Yes, how can I help you?" He looked behind him again, then leaned closer to me. "My brother came to you 3 days ago. He gave you something." I froze. Everything inside me screamed, "Deny, deny everything." "I don't understand what you're talking about," I said, but my voice betrayed me. He grabbed my arm with sudden strength. "Please, I don't have time to play this game. My brother, the man in the black suit who came to you 3 days ago, he gave you a briefcase. I know I need it." Why don't you ask him yourself?" I muttered. I saw pain cross his face. "Because he's dead, Kareem. He was killed yesterday. They stabbed him 7 times and left him bleeding in a dark alley." I felt the ground swaying under my feet. "Dead. The man who gave me the briefcase was dead." "Sit down," I said in a hoarse voice and led him to the nearest table. We sat and I was trying to process this information. "I'm sorry," I finally said. "The police came yesterday. They were looking for him." "I know," he said bitterly, "but they didn't find him alive. They found his body this morning. It's not on the news yet, but it will be soon." "Who are you, and why should I believe you?" "My name is Tawfiq," he said. "My brother's name was Rami Al-Salem. He was a lawyer, a good lawyer, trying to do the right thing in a corrupt world, and they killed him for it." He pulled out an ID card from his pocket and placed it in front of me. There was a photo of him, and next to it another photo of another man, the man in the black suit. "Rami Al-Salem, 2 brothers. What's in the briefcase?" I asked in a whisper. He looked around again cautiously, then leaned closer. Evidence, documents, files, recordings, everything Rami needed to bring down the biggest organized crime network in the country. "The Boss family," I whispered, remembering some of what I'd read on the internet. He nodded seriously. "They're not just an ordinary gang, Kareem. They have judges in their pockets, police officers working for them, politicians protecting them. They run everything: drugs, weapons, prostitution, even human trafficking. And Rami had been gathering evidence against them for 3 years. But why me? Why did he come to me?" "Because you're safe," he said simply. "Because you're nobody. Sorry, I don't mean to insult you, but that's good. No one watches you, no one suspects you." He needed a place to hide the files while he arranged the final handover. "Handover to whom?" "To the Assistant Attorney General, Nadia Al-Khatib. She's one of the few honest ones left in the system. Rami was planning to give her everything, but they got to him first." I felt nauseous. I was part of something much bigger than I'd imagined. "And what do you want me to do?" "Give me the briefcase. I'll complete what Rami started. I'll get it to the Attorney General. And if they kill you too?" He smiled, a sad smile. "Then I'll die doing the right thing, like my brother." There was something in his eyes, a kind of steadfast faith that made me want to believe him. But there was also something else: fear. A deep fear that this could all be a trap, or that I might destroy my life more than it was already destroyed. "I need to think," I said. "We don't have time to think," he said sharply, then caught himself and lowered his voice. Karim, every hour that passes, they're getting closer to you. If they find the briefcase with you, they won't ask you politely. They'll torture you, kill you, and kill everyone you love just to make sure there are no other copies. But the man your brother said someone would come after a week to collect it. He looked at me sadly. That person was supposed to be me, but the plan changed when they killed Rami. Now we have to move quickly before they find you. Chapter 7. Meeting in the darkness. We remained silent for a long minute. I could hear the ticking of the clock on the wall, the sound of cars outside, my own heartbeats. How do I know you're telling the truth? I finally asked. How do I know you're not one of them trying to trick me into taking the briefcase? He looked directly into my eyes. You don't know. You can't know for sure, but ask yourself, why would I lie? If I were one of them, I could have come with 10 men and taken the briefcase by force. Why would I sit here and beg you? He was right. If they really knew where the briefcase was, they wouldn't need any of this. Give me a day, I said. One day to verify your story, to make sure I'm not making a terrible mistake. We don't have a day, he said in frustration. Then you won't get anything, I said more firmly than I felt. I'm sorry for what happened to your brother, truly. But I'm not going to hand it over to the first person who comes and claims they want it. Give me until tomorrow, same time. He looked at me for a long time, then sighed. All right, tomorrow, same time, but Karim, be very careful. Don't open the briefcase, don't tell anyone. And if anyone comes asking about it, deny everything. He stood to leave, then stopped. Oh, and one more thing. Your father. My heart stopped. What about my father? He worked with Rami 15 years ago. He was an accountant for the same company that was laundering money for the Boss family. He discovered what was going on and tried to expose them, and they killed him. I felt as if the earth had opened beneath me. What? What are you saying? The car accident was actually an assassination. Rami was a junior lawyer at the time, tried to help your father, but he was too young, too inexperienced. He didn't succeed, and the case was buried, but he never forgot. This case, all of this, is for your father too, for all the innocent people they killed. He left before I could say anything else, leaving me shocked, confused, and very angry. My father didn't die in an accident. He was killed because he tried to do the right thing. And suddenly everything began to make sense. The sudden poverty, the quick move, my mother's constant fear, her refusal to ever talk about my father. She knew, or at least she suspected. Chapter 8. The Search for Truth. I closed the restaurant early that day. I couldn't concentrate, couldn't think about anything except what Tawfiq had said. I went home and found my mother sitting in the small living room watching TV. She looked at me when I entered and smiled, but her smile faded when she saw my face. Karim, what happened? I sat next to her and took her hand. Mom, I need you to tell me the truth about my father. I saw fear flash in her eyes. What? What do you mean? You know what happened. He died in a car accident. No, Mom, I want the real truth. Was he killed? She gasped and her hand trembled in mine. Who? Who told you? That was an admission. So it's true, I whispered. All these years you knew. She began to cry quietly. I wanted to protect you, Karim. You were so young. I was so scared. If they knew you knew, they might have killed you too. Who are they, Mom? Who killed my father? She shook her head violently. I don't know names. I didn't want to know. Just powerful people, bad people. Your father worked at a company and discovered they were doing illegal things. He tried to report them, and 2 weeks later they found him dead. And you didn't go to the police? I did, she said sharply. But they did nothing. They said it was an accident and that I was making up conspiracy theories because I was grieving. Then the threats started. Threats. She nodded, wiping her tears. Anonymous messages, phone calls in the middle of the night, saying if I didn't stop asking questions, the same thing that happened to your father would happen to you and me. I was terrified. So we moved, almost changed our names, tried to live quietly, not attract attention. Why didn't you ever tell me? Because I wanted you to live, Karim. I wanted you to be happy, to build your life, not carry this burden. All I wanted was to protect you. I hugged her as she cried on my shoulder. I felt immense anger, not toward her, but toward those who did this to us and who destroyed our family, who made my mother live in fear for 15 years. Mom, I said quietly, I need to tell you something, and I need you to be brave. I told her everything. About the man in the black suit, about the briefcase, about Tawfiq, about the police. Everything. When I finished, she was pale as a ghost. Oh God, Karim, what have you done? These are dangerous people. They'll kill you like they killed your father. Or, I said quietly, maybe this is a chance to end all of this, to make my father's death mean something. No, she screamed. I won't lose you too. Give them the briefcase, get rid of it, and let's run away. And where to, Mom? They'll find us. Now that I'm involved, there's no safe place. But if I help bring them down, if I help get justice for my father and Rami and everyone they killed, maybe, just maybe, we can finally live without fear. She looked at me and I saw fear in her eyes, but I also saw something else, pride perhaps. You're so much like your father. The same stubbornness, the same belief that the world can be better. Is that a bad thing? She smiled a sad smile. No, it's not bad, but it's scary for a mother who loves her son. Chapter 9, Day 4. The files. I didn't sleep that night either. I stayed awake, thinking about everything, trying to understand the whole picture. At 3 in the morning, I made a decision. I had to know. I had to see what was in the briefcase myself. If I was going to risk my life and my mother's life, I should know why. I dressed quietly and left the apartment. The streets were completely empty, lit only by dim streetlights. I felt cold, but it wasn't the cold of the weather, it was the cold of fear. I reached the restaurant, opened it quickly, and looked around cautiously before entering. Everything was quiet. I closed the door behind me and locked it. I went directly to the safe in the back of the kitchen. My hands were trembling as I turned the lock. The safe opened with a metallic creak. The black briefcase was there exactly as I'd left it. I took it out and placed it on the work table in the kitchen. I looked at it for a long time. This was the point of no return. If I opened it, there would be no going back to innocence, to not knowing. But I had already crossed that line from the moment I accepted the briefcase. I opened the zipper. Inside there was no money. There were files, dozens of brown files, carefully organized. There was also a small flash drive, an old mobile phone, and a sealed envelope with, "For Assistant Attorney General Nadia Al-Khatib only," written on it. I took one of the files and opened it. It was full of documents, copies of bank transactions, invoices, contracts. I didn't understand all the details, but it was clear these were records of massive money laundering operations. I opened another file. This one was different photographs. Pictures of men in meetings in fancy restaurants, shaking hands with each other. Some of them I recognized from TV, famous businessmen, politicians, even a well-known judge. Then I saw a photo that made my heart stop. It was an old photo, probably from the 60s, judging by the print quality. In it were 3 men standing in front of a building. One of them was my father. He was much younger, probably in his 30s, wearing an elegant suit and carrying a briefcase. He was smiling, but it wasn't a happy smile. There was tension in his eyes. Next to him stood a tall, massive man with a harsh face. On the back of the photo was written in handwriting, "Karim Al-Salam, accountant, with the family's guard, 2 weeks before the accident, August 2010. Salem, the same family name as Rami and Tawfiq. Was there a family connection or just a coincidence? I continued searching. I found a file titled Liquidations. I opened it with trembling fingers. It was a list of names, dates, and methods of killing. There were at least 40 names, and at the bottom of the 3rd page I saw my father's name. Karim Al-Salam, August 15th, 2010, staged car accident, reason, attempting to leak financial information to authorities, executor Abu Salem and his team. I felt hot tears fill my eyes. Here was the proof in black and white. My father wasn't just a victim of an accident, he had been assassinated in cold blood. I took a deep breath and wiped my tears. This wasn't time for crying, this was time for action. I opened another file. This was about weapons smuggling operations, about deals with terrorist groups, about politicians' money. There was enough here to imprison dozens of people for decades. I found a file titled The Internal Network. I opened it and was shocked by what I saw. It was a list of names of police officers, judges, lawyers, even some journalists, all on the boss family's payroll. There were specific amounts, payment dates, services provided. And among the names, I saw a name that made me freeze: Captain Ahmed Al-Omari, the same officer who came to ask me about Remy. He was on the gang's payroll. I suddenly understood. His visit wasn't to search for Rami, it was to search for the briefcase. He was working for them. And I told him I'd seen Rami. Chapter 10. The Chase. I was in the middle of reading another file when I heard the sound. A knock on the front door. A soft knock 3 times, then stopped. Then once more. I froze. Who knocks on the door at 4 in the morning? I hid behind the kitchen partition and quickly turned off the lights. I looked cautiously through the glass. There were 3 men outside. They were wearing dark clothes, and one of them was carrying something that looked like a heavy hammer. My heart was beating so violently I was sure they could hear it. One of them tried the door handle. Locked. He said something to the others and they started moving around the building. They were looking for a way in. I had to get out of here now. Quickly, I gathered the files and put them back in the briefcase. I took the flash drive and put it in my pocket backup insurance. I closed the briefcase. I heard the sound of breaking glass from the back. They were breaking the bathroom window. I ran toward the front door and unlocked it with trembling fingers. I opened the door slightly and looked outside. The street was empty. I went out and ran. I heard shouts behind me. "There, get him!" I ran faster than I'd ever run in my life, clutching the briefcase tightly. The streets were dark, but I knew this neighborhood well. I turned into a narrow alley, then another, trying to lose them. But they were fast. I could hear their footsteps behind me, closer and closer. I entered another street and nearly collided with a parked car. I tried to jump over the hood of the car, but my foot slipped. I fell hard to the ground and the briefcase flew from my hand. Before I could stand up, one of them was on top of me, grabbing my shirt collar and lifting me up. He was a huge man with a face carved with scars and breath that smelled of cigarettes. "The briefcase, you little fool," he said in a rough voice. "I don't know what you're talking about," I tried to say, but my voice came out weak, terrified. He hit me in the face and I tasted blood in my mouth. "Don't play smart with me. Where are the files Rami Al-Salem gave you?" "He didn't give me anything, I'm just a restaurant owner." He hit me again, harder this time. I saw stars. "I'll ask one last time, where are the files?" Suddenly I heard a voice. "Let him go." We all looked. Tawfiq was standing at the end of the alley, holding something in his hand. It took me a second to realize it was a gun. The man holding me laughed. "Look who we have here. The little brother came to the rescue." "I said let him go," Tawfiq repeated, his voice trembling slightly but holding the gun steadily. "Or what? You'll shoot? You've never shot anyone in your life, boy." "Try me and find out," said Tawfiq. For a long moment, no one moved. The tension was so thick I could barely breathe. Then everything happened quickly. The man pushed me aside and lunged toward Tawfiq. I heard a gunshot so loud in the narrow alley. The man screamed and fell, clutching his thigh. "Run, Kareem!" shouted Tawfiq. "Run now!" I didn't think. I grabbed the briefcase from the ground and ran away from the alley, away from the screaming and chaos. I ran until I couldn't breathe anymore, until my legs were about to collapse under me. I stopped in another alley, far away, holding my knees, trying to catch my breath. The briefcase was still with me, the flash drive was still in my pocket. But Tawfiq. What happened to Tawfiq? I looked at the sky. Dawn was beginning to break, pink streaks on the horizon. I knew one thing for certain: I couldn't go back to the restaurant. I couldn't go back home. I had to find a safe place and I had to think of a plan. But most importantly of all, I had to get these files to the Attorney General before they killed me.